Three phases in a woman's life in which her need for a man becomes more intense. The harsh reality, explained in detail. There are three very specific moments in a woman's life where her desire to be in a relationship increases significantly. This does not happen by chance. It is not only emotional, but also psychological and biological. And if you are a man who does not recognize these stages, you will continue to misinterpret women again and again. Most men believe that women seek relationships in the same way throughout their lives. That idea is completely wrong. Scientific evidence shows a very different reality. Developmental psychologists from the University of Chicago, who studied female motivation in relationships across different ages, discovered something that is rarely openly stated. A woman's desire to have a partner does not remain the same, but clearly increases during three specific and predictable stages, and what they seek in each of them changes completely. What they found even surprised the researchers themselves. Let's start with the first stage, between 18 and 22 years old. This is the exploration phase. During this period, their prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning and long-term decisions, is still developing. That is why their focus is strongly on the present. They seek experiences, romance, and intense emotions. They're not thinking about where they will be in 5 years. They're focused on what excites them at this moment. At this stage, they're not looking for a definitive partner. They're accumulating experiences, and the type of man they are attracted to reflects this. Someone who brings energy, excitement, and vitality to the moment. But this is where everything starts to change. The second phase occurs between 25 and 30 years old. At this point, everything begins to transform. Their environment evolves. Their friends start getting married. The people around them form families. At the same time, what many call the biological clock, something neuroscientists confirm exists and is not just a social myth, begins to generate a subtle but constant sense of urgency. Researchers at Columbia University, when analyzing attachment patterns in women, found that at this stage, they not only seek connection, but often unconsciously start evaluating men differently. Now long-term potential, stability, character, and future security matter. The same woman who at 21 sought emotional intensity begins to value reliability at 28. So if you have ever noticed a woman suddenly raising her standards or changing her expectations, it is not random. There is a reason behind that change. And then we reach the third phase, between 38 and 45 years. This is perhaps the most misunderstood stage of all. By that time, she has already lived enough to gain clarity. She has built her own path. She has probably experienced both love and heartbreak. And now she enters what many women describe as one of the most defining moments of their lives. Her priorities change again. She no longer seeks to impress anyone. She seeks to feel secure, not financially, but emotionally. She begins to value consistency, presence, and authenticity. Psychologists call this the shift towards authenticity. At this point, superficial attraction loses much of its weight, and depth becomes the only thing that truly matters. Now, this is the truth that every man needs to understand. If you come across a woman in any of these stages and do not recognize what she really needs at that moment, you will interpret her behavior personally. You will think she is complicated or inconsistent, but she is not. She is simply responding to a phase of her life that you were never taught to understand. And here is the harsh reality. A woman who seems deeply connected with you at one stage may naturally drift away from that connection at another stage. Not because you did something wrong, but because her needs have changed. Men who avoid confusion and disappointment are those who understand this pattern. They do not rely solely on the right timing. They build relationships based on genuine alignment. Because the real question was never, what does she want? The real question has always been, what stage of her life is she in now? And if this idea has just changed the way you see things, the following video goes even deeper, revealing the subtle signals women show at each of these stages that most men fail to perceive. Understanding this could change everything for you.